Hello, I'm Tom Emanuel reporting for Firewall. So, introduction of Firewall. The internet has made large amount of information available to the average computer user at home, in business and education. For many people, having access to this information is no longer just an advantage, it is essential. Therefore, security of network is the main criteria here and Firewall provides the security. So basically, what is Firewall? As this image states, it is the gatekeeper of computers. It is the gatekeeper from data coming from the internet or other computer systems, which protect from threat, viruses, malware, trojans, and etc. So what is a firewall? A firewall is simply a program or hardware device that filters information coming to the internet into a private network or computer system. So basically, if you see this image, the internet, firewall, and the uh, home business or net home business network, it can filter many threats, many as I said before, it can filter Trojan viruses and other threats. It it prevents other hackers also to access your information by the way of your computer data. So there is sort of firewalls. Firewall technology first began to emerge in late 1980s. Internet was fairly new technology in terms of global use and connectivity. Okay. In 1988, 8 years after, an employee at the NASA Ames Research Center in California sent a memo by email to his colleagues that read, "We are currently under attack from an internet virus." So basically, firewalls are protection from viruses. So that's why technologists and scientists, or either computer sciences, are upgrading firewall every year. The first paper published on firewall technology was in 1988 when Jeff Magul from Digital Equipment Corporation developed filter systems known as packet filter wire firewalls. Okay, this is the first version of firewall from Digital Equipment Corporation. One of the largest internet security companies in the world released the product to the public in 1997. Okay, so basically, this explains why do we need firewall to our computers because it is home use right now. It is home use, and many people access your data with in everyday use of internet, or basically you are just connected to the internet. Some people can access your data within the way of your packet or data transmission. As we can see, this is the portrayal of having a firewall. It blocks you are. It's like explanation of Donald Trump. This is a secret service agent uh, that moves behind or moves secretly in your computer, which can discuss it later. What is an application firewall? An application firewall is a special firewall that's, excuse me, that is specifically coded for the type of traffic it's inspecting. The most widely developed application firewall is the web application firewall. Yeah, this is the if you can see the illustration here, the internet uh, sends you data. The internet sends you data because you could request for information. Example, you are accessing data from the web, then the web you request it, and the web authenticated you to have this information, but the web is not safe sending data to you. So the firewall filters it. If you see this red red string here, light string here, and the green string here, the only thing that passes through the firewall is the data, the legitimate data that you needed. not the harmful data like here. Also, if you are in the internet, we can also see this. If someone if someone or someone or just like me access the internet, you can see these icons in here in your URL, their URL. What do you mean by HTTPS and what do you mean by HTTP? So basically, these are legitimate. This HTTPS is a legitimate site within there's no harmful attacks on your computer or either in your data, because this HTTPS with lock on it represents an SSL certificate, which um, domain which excuse me for the uh, noise, which um, domain name services uh, are being filtered, which no hackers, no penetration testers can access your data. It is encrypted. Every movement on the website is safe because it has a SSL certificate, which certified by Google. Okay. And this other thing here, HTTP, you can know that it represents red because it's not safe. The firewall also prevents this to access it. Private privacy error, like that. So what is difference between host-based firewall and network-based firewall? Host-based firewall and a network-based firewall. A host-based firewall is installed on an individual computer to protect it from activity occurring on its network. A network-based firewall is implemented at a specified point in the network path and protects all computers on the internal side of a firewall from all computers on the external side of the firewall. So basically, the host-based firewall is installed. The way installed on the individual computer is basically a home use firewall, basically a personal firewall within uh, current network. This basically like we can assume that we use firewall just like antiviruses. Antiviruses have built-in firewall within its function, like Norton, like Kaspersky's, Total AV, Avast, AVG. This has many this these softwares have firewalls in it. So a network-based firewall is also implemented at the specified point in the network. So these are web programs. We can uh, Google now has Google or other companies develop a web program that filters the data coming from them, or basically coming from anything. Like you can access this data within the only data it is sending you is a legitimate data, not a the headers or the packets also is encapsulated and encrypted within the network, or the viruses or attacks cannot penetrate to it. So these are web programs. Normally, this is residing from the network or the server side programmers. They upgrade the function of it every year within their capabilities. That network-based firewall are being is this one of the safest function in the internet right now to protect your data. Okay, hardware firewall versus software firewall. Hardware firewalls are integrated into the router that sits between the computer and the internet. So basically, if you are using routers, hubs, switches, and other basically router, that's basically the most used of all in any household. Router a built-in has a built-in function, built-in hardware in its components in hardwares, which we cannot, if you are not an IT, you're not a computer science guy, you cannot establish it where is or where the hardware of the firewall is. But you know that the firewall all you know the router is protecting you from attacks. So okay. Software firewalls are installed on individual servers. They intercept each connection request and then determine whether the request is valid or not. This is what I'm saying before, that software firewalls are like Norton, Kaspersky's, and other softwares. These are legitimate softwares that can protect you from attacks. Okay, so the design goals for a firewall. First design goal for a firewall is collectively the sum of all network traffic from internal and to external must go to the firewall, physically cutting off all access to the local network except via the firewall. Okay. The second design goal would be only unauthorized traffic, which deline, delineated by the by the local security policy will be allowed to proceed. Finally, the last design goal is the firewall itself is resistant to penetration, inclusive as a solid trustworthy system with a protected operating system. Okay, uh, normally we can see firewall in our computer built in it. You can go to the network and sharing connectivity on your control panel. You can disable it. You can enable it. Okay, that's the design of the firewall. Uh, Either you cannot access any if you like to access some unprotected sites that you need some data about that. So the firewall prevents you to go for going to accessing that site. So how can you disable how can you access the site um, without getting any instruction from um, other computers? You can simply uh, you can simply go to the console panel and disable it to disable the local security policy, which the computer design it to prevent you from getting any attacks. Okay, types of firewalls. Packet filtering firewalls. As I said before, the history of firewalls is first developed by the packet by John. John? Is it John? It's Jeff. Yeah, it's Jeff. It's developed by Jeff. It's, packet filtering routers applies a set of rules to each incoming IP packet and then forwards or discards the packet. Okay, this is what I'm telling you about penetration testers or their hackers. If the packet is not legitimate, or either the IP address um, is a it is a harmful threat or a harmful IP, it does not it discards it. The packet the packet can be harmful to your computer. That's why the packet filtering router does not allow them to pass. Filter packets is going to both directions. Yeah, the packet, the filter packets are in both direction. You may send or receive data within. It also prevents you from sending harmful data and receiving harmful data. The packet filter is a typically set up of list rules based on matches to fill in the IP or TCP header. By the way, this TCP header means the um, your IP header or the header. This consists of its the application data and the header, which your IP or your encapsulated. It's all in all the packet has it's your unique address or the IP and the application that you will